Hey, welcome back, folks. I'm sorry I wasn't around last weekend, but man, you gotta just understand. I've been busy. It's that time of the year. You got all the little spring chores to be done, and I'm doing everything myself. Oh, by the way, I also have another channel on YouTube now too, so I'm doing videos for that one. I'm getting stuff fixed up and working, and man, I've just been busy, busy, busy. But I decided that, that this weekend we definitely got to put something together for you. And, well, today's video is inspired by a recent article that I read, and I'm going to put a link to that article in the description below. Because it's not a horribly long one, and it's very well worth your read, because I've talked before about what is pressure. When we talk about pressure and release, what is pressure? Well, pressure can be many things to the horse, and people don't understand there's a lot of different kinds of pressure. It's not just physical pressure. Sometimes it's psychological. It's kind of like, if you're at work and, you got a heavy workload and you feel like, I'm under pressure, man. I got so much to do. Well, it's not physical, is it? No, it's psychological. And in many cases, that's what it is to the horse, too. It's actually a psychological thing. It's not a physical thing. And there's different kinds of pressure. And, well, in the article that you are going to read, you're going to read that. I know you are. I'm telling you, you're going to read that article. Read it. She lists 3 different types of pressure. She talks about pressure and release. And she lists 3 different types of pressure and release, and how they are actually quite different. And I knew they were, and I've actually used all 3, and I've used them appropriately and everything. But I never really understood the whole concept. One of them even has a special name for it, and I never really gave much thought. I just kind of always did what seemed right to do, and so that's what we did. But there's your pressure and release, typical of, well, when you're training a horse for something, you apply pressure, and when it does the right thing, you give it release. That's how it works for that one. Then there's, if you're, well, the other one would be more desensitizing, is the pressure is the presence of an object that they're not real cool on. But as soon as they show any kind of relaxation or, starting to understand it or get good with it, you take it away. Oh, okay, I just had to relax a little. Okay, that's good. That's easy. Well, those first 2, you've seen me do both of them, because I've used them in a few different demos I've done where I've either been, desensitizing or training, that sort of thing. Those 2 are pretty common. But the third one that she lists, which is actually the one that comes first, she mentions this in the article too. She's got them listed as 1, 2, and 3, and number 3 actually comes first. Number 2 and 1 can actually be happening at the same time, not for the same thing, but you can be doing desensitizing and educating at the same time, which will use both of those different types of pressure and release. So numbers 1 and 2 in her list can actually come at the same time, can be used at the same time, not for the same thing, but at the same time. But before you get into either one of those, number 3. The number 3 is, and this is where a lot of people do not understand what pressure is to a horse. It can be, your presence can be pressure. Absence of something can be pressure to a horse. Talking a lot can be a pressure to a horse. Actually, I find that a bit annoying too. Anyhow, but number 3 is, you have to apply pressure by, say, your presence until you notice that the horse is starting to be bothered by it, and then back off. And what that accomplishes is it tells the horse that, hey, this guy's actually paying attention to me. He cares about how I feel. They care about my mental state, my emotions. you know what, I think I might like hanging out with this person. And that's why number 3 actually is number 1. Well, you'll get the idea. I'm probably not explaining it real good. Sarah does a pretty good job in her article. Oh, and by the way, I might even feature, talk about her again in another upcoming video, because she was also the guest of in a podcast where she was interviewed, and she talked about different things altogether, but some of it, a good portion of it, actually did have to do with horses. But she is actually, well, I think she works as a therapist. She's got university education as a psychologist or something. I don't know. She's got all those smarts things going on and all those fancy letters behind her name that says she knows lots. Well, whether or not somebody has a degree or an education doesn't mean much to me. Common sense goes a long ways, but it's still nice to have the reaffirmation, to be reaffirmed. It's nice when other people say the same crap you've been saying. You know what I mean? And, well, in many cases, and this is one of them, the different forms of pressure, I've talked about them before and how to use them and everything else. The only one you probably haven't seen is number 3, because that's something that's just, it varies a lot in exactly how you do it from one horse to the next. So I can't just give you an example and say, hey, this is how you do it, because it doesn't work that way. And it's one of those things that sometimes can actually take quite a while, and it's not good material for a video, but it does definitely take place with each and every horse that I work with. And it is probably one of the most important ones. It's an element that I have been trying to convince people it is important for a very long time. And, well, it's kind of like, how'd she word it? Well, you read the article like I told you to. You'll see what she titled it. It's connection before something. I don't know. She's got good words for it. I just say mentality before methods. That's what makes a good horseman. Give a crap about the horse. Think about how it feels. Think about how it is mentally and emotionally. What does this situation do to the horse? When you start recognizing those things and acting accordingly, the horse notices. Don't think they don't, I'll tell you. The horse pays attention, and it goes, hey, this guy cares about me. He cares about how I feel. Maybe I want to be around that person. And the next thing you know, you got a horse that enjoys being with you and is willing to do the things you ask it to do. Because as much as pressure and release is used in training, sometimes all you got to do is just ask nice, and, well, if you treat them good and respect their emotions, sometimes that's all it takes. Have a good day. Oh, and make sure you do your homework. Read that article, okay? Have a good day.